He's from the University of Chicago, and he knew a lot about radiation. That's all I know about. Okay, well, thanks to Google and stuff, you just say, Harold Urey? Oh, the other thing she knew about him was Urey said, you're playing with fire. And I'm shutting your lab down. For safety reasons. Well, who is this guy Urey that's got the power to shut down Judy's lab? He was at Columbia during World War II and ran their war sciences program. Now the point here is not connecting Judy and Urey. It's wondering why Alton Ochsner is running around with Urey at his elbow in '61. Okay? So that summer, as soon as Judy graduates from high school, they bring her up to Buffalo, New York, and to the Roswell Park thing. There's Judy, there's her name. This guy over here on the left-hand side of your screen is the guy that starts the American Association of Radiologists. They train Judy to handle cancer-causing monkey viruses. She learns about the SV40 contamination of the polio vaccine up there. And she works in Dr. Moore's private lab on a melanoma project with human melanoma cells. So for the next 2 years, Judy winds up at the University of Florida. These guys are paying for her education with the help of Senator Smathers. And she is doing experiments for them and sending monthly reports to Dr. Alton Ochsner on the effects of SV40 and radiation and melanoma. Why are they doing this with her? Because they have questions they want to ask that they do not want to ask in public. These guys all know about the contamination of the polio vaccine. They know there's a cancer-causing virus in there, and what they want to know is if you take someone who's got this stuff in their blood and give them an X-ray, will the X-ray trigger the cancer? Think that went through. That threatens the entire use of X-ray in American medicine. So they want it done quietly, you know? And they provide Judy with resources. Here is an abstract published in 1962, just to show she's not making this up. There's 62, there's Judy Berry, there is melanoma from a human host. This is published in the Indiana Academy of Sciences for their meetings in '61. So we find Judy in the University of Florida, 1962-63. There is her student ID card. Notice the signature in green and pay attention to the J at the front of Judy because we're going to be looking at this in more detail. Along comes the Cuban Missile Crisis in October of 1962. Notice the circle. New Orleans is inside the circle. New Orleans is a little blue dot there. And the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I remember watching TV wondering if we were going to get nuked before the Late Show came on, you know? Yeah. Castro, and this is a case of personification, Castro gets a blame. So 6 months later, Ochsner calls Judy at the University of Florida, invites her to New Orleans to work on for that summer, to work on an important project. In return, Judy will get to skip the last 2 years of college, to start medical school in the fall of 1963. Her tuition and stock will be paid for, room and board stuff, stipend provided, and she will do cancer research this summer with that world-famous researcher, Dr. Mary Sherman. Would you like to do this, Judy? Yes. Was her short answer, okay? So, Dr. Mary Sherman, who are we talking about here? Professor at Tulane Medical School, ran cancer lab at the Ochsner Clinic, expert in the medical uses of radiation. She's from the University of Chicago, right? First sustained nuclear reaction, those kind of things. The Mary and Dr. Mary Smokey. Judy accepts Ochsner's offer. Ochsner sends her a Greyhound bus ticket. Judy's 19, the skids are greased, her future is bright and secure. Her dream of becoming a cancer researcher is now within her reach. So you have to ask, when she leaves New Orleans, she never touches this again. Why? Something happened. So, on April 19th, Judy goes to New Orleans. Here's a Greyhound bus ticket. She kept it. 1 week later, she is intercepted at the post. You know, she's there shooting her mouth off to all of her roommates at the YWCA. You know, the name's Oshner's coming up, Sherman's coming up, and they say, boy, get somebody down there, get a hold of her. They scrambled Lee Oswald out of Dallas-Fort Worth and send him down to New Orleans. They're watching Judy. They know she's going over to the post office on a daily basis to look for love letters from her fiancé. Lee follows her over there, gets in line behind her, and intercepts her at the post office. Within 24 hours, he sets up a meeting between Judy and Dr. David Ferry. Another 24 hours, Mary Sherman appears at a party at David Ferry's apartment. 1 week later, when it's time for Judy to meet privately with Dr. Alton Oshner, it is Lee Oswald that sets up the meeting.